Mr. Goldman Santani, Sanjoy Chatterjee, Clark, and also the local Hyderabad head, Ravi Krishnan, my colleague, Principal Secretary of IT and Industry, Jayesh Ranjan, to my friend, Dr. Reddy Labs, Chairman of the Dr. Reddy Labs, Sri Satish Reddy Garu, another dear friend and gentleman who keeps making our country proud. I was surprised that he's actually with us today, because I expected him to be in Tokyo, I think. But nevertheless, I think most of his proteges, most of his disciples are battling it out or get to battle out in Tokyo. Thank you, Gopi Changaru, for joining us. Our Commissioner of Police in the Hyderabad area, Sri Sajjanar Garu, our Chief Relations Officer from the Government of Telangana, who's actually facilitated the conversation with Goldman Sachs and has been actually doing all the hand-holding on behalf of the government, Amarnath Reddy. The CEO of T-Hub, Sri Ravi Narayan, CEO of V-Hub, the Women Entrepreneurs Hub, Sri Deepti Raula, our OSD on Emerging Technologies, Srimati Rama Devi Garu, and to the entire family of Goldman Sachs, which is gathered here. And of course, I would be remiss not to mention David Solomon, who joined us virtually, and to all of you who are actually gathered here, welcoming Goldman Sachs into Hyderabad. I extend my congratulations and I extend my warm welcome to the entire family of Goldman Sachs into Hyderabad. In Hyderabad, in fact, in the BFSI sector, the banking, financial and insurance services sector, we've had tremendous growth over the last few years. And now Goldman Sachs joining this league only makes it stronger and more robust. As I was just pointing out to Sanjoy and Gunjan, we're expected here by 11. But the fact that I showed up about 15-20 minutes in advance goes to show you that Hyderabad's infrastructure, in fact, has facilitated that seamless sort of movement. And I was also pointing out, I obviously don't trash talk and I don't really trash other colleagues of mine in other states in India, but nevertheless, if this was in Bangalore, then I think I would have showed up at 12. So just wanted to point that out. And I guess both of you gentlemen are based in Bangalore. I think you should soon move to Hyderabad as well. And Sanjay, I think you're based in Bombay. You should seriously consider this too. We'll talk to your wife, Kalpana, as well. Goldman, of course, is a sought-after name. When I was a student in City University of New York back in '99, which seems like a few lifetimes ago now, while I was majoring in marketing and e-commerce, Goldman was not my choice of future employer or potential employer. I was more focused on the dot-coms or startups as we call them today. But a lot of my colleagues, a lot of my friends, a lot of my cohorts, their dream job was, to actually have a placement at Goldman Sachs. So as somebody who lived in Manhattan, as somebody who's studied in Manhattan and New York City, I know what a brand Goldman Sachs is, and it is a delight and a personal pleasure for me to be able to inaugurate this wonderful office in my own city, in Hyderabad. Hyderabad, as I was pointing out, not only offers good infrastructure, but the governance under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, Sri KTR Garu, has been offering competent and stable governance over the last 7 years. In fact, when the new state of Telangana was formed about 7 years ago, 7+ years ago, there were a lot of apprehensions about what would happen to Hyderabad and what would happen to the investments, whether or not the city would continue to attract investments, etc. But I'm happy to share with you, in the last 7 years, under the leadership of the dynamic Chief Minister, we have been able to attract significant amount of business, not only from the United States-based enterprises, but also from all over the world. Now, if you look at the ecosystem, just to give you a little bit of an idea as to what I'm saying, we already have many of the Fortune 500 BFSI companies here in Hyderabad, like HSBC, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, I think Arindam I met somewhere here, JP Morgan Chase, of course, Franklin Templeton, Invesco, Broadridge, Barcadia, Black Knight Financials, Development Bank of Singapore, Legato, which is also known as Anthem Insurance, State Street Bank, Mass Mutual, more recently, Synchrony Financial, which was earlier called as GE Capital. Most of these, in fact, have come in the last 7 years. If you look at, just a quick look at when these have happened, almost 12 to 15,000 of these new jobs that have been added have happened in the last 5 years. In addition to all the new entrants, I just mentioned, there have been some significant expansions that have also happened in Hyderabad. Wells Fargo, in fact, now has more than 1.2 million square foot of space at Divyasri IT Park. JP Morgan, which initially leased about 1 million square foot, I think in the same building, is continuing to grow and expand. Synchrony, Bank of America, Broadridge, ICICI, they've all expanded significantly in Hyderabad. And I'm also happy to share with you, not just the traditional financial services companies, but in the new age of startups, in this digital revolution that's sweeping us, a company which was incubated in Hyderabad, a startup called as High Radius, became the first unicorn in the BFSI space from Hyderabad. And BFSI in Hyderabad, as we all are familiar, is spread across various domains. There's spread into retail, commercial, custodial services, securities, fintech, insurance, and all the technologies that were mentioned by Gunjan, the emerging technologies. We continue to leverage them, and we continue to grow the ecosystem in this state, in this city of ours. And I would also like to point out, the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority is headquartered right here in this city of Hyderabad. And we also have IDRBT, the Institute of Development and Research in Banking, is also headquartered. These are two central government institutions which are headquartered right here, which make our ecosystem that much more stronger with their presence here. Hyderabad is also home to the National Payments Corporation of India, NPCI, whose largest data center today in the country is right here. More than 1.8 lakh professionals, 180,000 professionals are part of the Hyderabad BFSI ecosystem. And the total IT pool is more than 6.4 lakh people who are working in IT and ITES sector. We've met Gunjan, Ravi, last year, I think it was last December. Last December it was, if I remember correctly. And then things have moved really, really fast. Now the fact that we are actually on the cusp of inaugurating this lovely office here goes to show you the kind of confidence reposed in the government in this city, even in the midst of a pandemic. And I'm delighted once again to welcome Goldman Sachs to this wonderful city. I think Ravi it was who mentioned the cuisine here. Ravi, there are many more things, in fact, besides the cuisine. There are lots of lovely, sorry?